Hello Warriors, welcome to this edition of WTV. I'm Maddie Schlegel.
And I'm Caden Weber, and on this week's edition we offer a review of the Saturn app and a feature on Tristan Alvano and his commitment to Nebraska.
We will also take a look at our girls' swim season and the rising basketball player Kamora Jenkins.
And lastly, we'll check in with ATSC. This semester, Westside High School is no longer using the schedule app that students are used to. And many students are choosing to use the Saturn app as an alternative way to track their schedules. Jack Kipling and Sloan Houston will have their latest review.
Over winter break, Westside completely changed the schedule system that had been used for over 40 years. This change phased out the use of the old system and moved everything over to PowerSchool. The scheduler app was formerly used by students and teachers and was recently removed by admin. Many students have found a new way to track their schedules through the app Saturn. Saturn is an app that allows students to chat with people in their classes, view the time until the mod ends, and most importantly, view their schedule. To understand why Saturn is being used over PowerSchool, we interviewed students and teachers and asked them what they would like about the app and why they are using it.
I tried using the Saturn app, but I couldn't figure out how to work it as a teacher.
I heard about the app when I got invited over text by some of my friends, because that's like a feature on the app.
I started using the Saturn app just for seeing how much time is left in the mod and I guess seeing what class I currently have, if it's accurate. I think the chat feature is nice to have, but I have not seen any classes even start a chat with it, so it's also kind of pointless at the same time.
I don't see the point of switching to PowerSchool this semester because I think it's harder to read because you're used to reading it like up and down, and like the matrix schedule or whatever, it's just like weird color coding and stuff, and all you can really see on that is your room number. It doesn't show anything else.
I am not a big fan of the transition from scheduler to PowerSchool.
Why?
Because it doesn't tell me how much time is left in the mod and what class I'm technically in right now.
Most students and teachers still prefer the old scheduler-based system for scheduling. The Saturn app is a good substitute for scheduler with some added features. Until PowerSchool gets better, Saturn will be used by students for the foreseeable future. I'm Jack Kipling from WTV.
It's interesting how much revolves around schedules, isn't it?
That's a bad joke. That's out of this world.
Westside football team won the state championship last November after a dramatic finish when Nebraska recruit Tristan Alvano kicked the winning field goal. Joel Vermillion has the story.
There's no place like home for Tristan Alvano. The Westside kicker felt right at home at Memorial Stadium, where he booted a dramatic game-winning 45-yard field goal as time expired to edge Gretna 43-41 for the Class A state championship.
5 yards out. Tristan Alvano to win it. Alvano got it. Oh, what a finish. Alvano wins it for Westside.
Alvano talks about the winning kick.
Really just staying calm. Obviously we'd had 4 attempts prior to that in the game. So I think myself and the whole field goal unit were really confident going into that moment, just knowing that we kind of been there before, and it was really nothing new, just a little more pressure on the kick.
So when the offense got the ball, Anthony Rizek said, "Tristan, I'll get you into scoring position." So Anthony wasn't even thinking about let's score a touchdown. He was like, "We've got this. We just got to get in field goal position." And we knew that once we got to about 35-yard line or less, Tristan can make those.
He also set the state record for field goals in a season with 16 and in a career with 27. Alvano capped off his high school career with a playoff record 5 field goals in the state championship game. Alvano practiced all season to kick at Memorial Stadium.
He'd made 60-yarders the day before in practice. He made a 60-yarder.
We down the baseball field, we got our uprights cut down and narrowed down, so it's like the college uprights, just to practice on those because that was our goal, to get back to the state championship game. So we wanted to get there and have no surprises when we got back down there to Lincoln.
We just run the clock down until it's time to kick and Tristan will nail it. And he did. But that was all because of all the years that I had seen with Tristan, that his resolve, his focus, he was on that night. I knew when he went on the field, I didn't say anything to him.
Alvano will return to Memorial Stadium for his college career at the University of Nebraska. Alvano announced his decision to become a Husker on December 15th. Here is why he chose Nebraska.
I'd say the people for sure. I think the relationships I have with the coaches are great. The new staff is filled with very genuine people, and I really like them. And I'm just really excited to get started down there. And I think obviously the history is great.
Alvano's recruitment is a huge success for Nebraska's new head coach, Matt Rule. Alvano is a 5-star recruit and earned first-team All-American honors by Kohl's professional kicking camps. Alvano leaves Westside after a record-breaking career, which ranks among the best in Nebraska high school history. I'm Joe Vermillion for WTV.
Thanks, Joe. That was a great feature on the state championship. With winter sports well underway, the girls swim team have had a record-breaking season. The Warriors just won the Westside Invitational, edging Marion. Sammy Kendi and Evelyn Jasa have the story.
The Westside girls varsity swim team had an incredibly strong start to their season. For 10 meets in a row, they went undefeated. The team committed to working hard in and out of practice to make sure they continue to do their best at every meet, whether they win or not.
Remaining undefeated comes with a lot of pressure, and I think we're able to turn that pressure into something positive and not crumble underneath it. We're very focused in practice, and no matter how hard the set is, we're having a lot of grit, having that strength of character, and just pushing through, having drive and determination.
We just put a lot of work in at practice. We continue to push each other and race each other in practice, and we also have our coaches constantly giving us times and telling us what we need to work on. And then we do a lot of weightlifting to just keep building our strength.
Competing against other teams in the metro area is never an easy task, but the team tries their best to keep a positive and hardworking mindset at meets and practices.
Going undefeated has affected our mentality at practice just by making us want to work even harder because we have something to work for and keep our undefeated reign.
Something that has helped the Westside girls swim team stay on top is the connection they have with their teammates. This tightly knit bond helps them work together to get through tough practices and motivate each other during meets.
I've been on this team for 3 years, and I've been practicing with most of these girls since I was 10 years old, and this is the closest I felt to them. We've been doing a lot of bonding, and these girls are like a second family to me, and I think they could agree with that too.
We all treat each other like one big family, and you would think that we have known each other for years if you went into our locker room after morning practices.
As these girls enter the peak of their season, there are both nerves and excitement the team will channel in order to strive to continue winning these meets leading up to the biggest meets of the year, Metro and State.
This season, I'm the most looking forward to State because we have a really, really good group of girls. A lot of people have already made State. A lot of people who are supposed to make State. We just have a big team, and it's going to be really fun.
From WTV, this has been Sammy Kendi and Evelyn Jasa.
Our swimmers really know how to make a splash.
You're gonna get disqualified for your bad jokes.
That's fair. I couldn't compete with any of our swimmers anyway. The girls' varsity basketball team has a fairly young roster this season. Carson Kelly and Joe Sholey take a look at the rising sophomore Kimora Jenkins.
Kimora Jenkins is a sophomore on the varsity basketball team who has been taking advantage of the resources available to her.
I would say all of my trainers and coaches and people that I work with to help me get in the gym and put in work, and just my coaches and teammates having faith in me and allowing me to be able to go out there and shoot.
Coach Cahill is very excited about Jenkins being on the team this year.
Obviously super excited for her, especially as a coach, watching the work that she puts in at practice for us and then what she does outside of our gym, because she does a lot of her own work with skill trainers, stuff like that. So super excited for her. I mean, in the moment, we're focused as a staff on what goes on for the end of the game, so maybe it didn't show, but after the game and honestly what happens overall, super excited for that kid. The rest of the season in general, we're super young this year, so a lot of playing time going to freshmen and sophomores. So honestly, our ultimate goal is to get them more comfortable with the speed of the game and just continue to improve every single game.
I'll try to just keep putting in work and talking and communicating with teammates and coaches and things like that, and just staying focused.
She's a kid that it's kind of basketball 24/7 for her. So she has an individual trainer that she works at Develop Basketball that she'll work year round with, and then obviously she practices for us and works within our system pretty well. And then she also plays summer basketball, so basketball is just a huge part of her life, and she works at it constantly.
Jenkins has clear goals for herself and her performance this season.
Your goals maybe to like break my own record and just stay consistent on the court and keep playing hard.
She's got to keep working hard, keep playing smart. She knows the game really well. She got to keep carrying that over into the actual style of play, and then just keep playing at her pace if she wants to and not get slowed down.
Kimora Jenkins hopes to earn a district title next month and punch a ticket into the state tournament. I'm Joe Shuley from WTV.
What a...
Don't say it.
Slam dunk of a story.
Still a bad joke, but an accurate one.
Our last story this week is more musical in nature. Evan Kugler and Jordan Nog highlight Westside's amazing Technicolor show choir and their accomplishments this season.
Westside's amazing Technicolor show choir ranks among the best choral groups in Nebraska. The show choir is under the leadership of Doran Johnson, who is in his 23rd year of teaching at Westside High School.
Like we've been shot out of a cannon, actually. Competing as early as we do in January, really we have to be ready. So I think everything built up and we just launched onto the stage, and it was a great start, a lot of energy. And I'm happy with where we've started it in terms of our level of performance. They're great kids, they care, they know what the vision is, and they're very committed to the vision. So I just feel like they're the engine that is driving the group right now. There's been something special about this group from day one, and still trying to figure out exactly what it is. A lot of it is in their sound. Their vocal quality is very unlike other groups that I've had, and they're so versatile with the sounds that they can use and the styles that they have to sing. They learn choreography so quickly. So we have gotten to this part pretty fast and pretty easy. They've worked hard, but they master stuff and learn things quickly. So it's just really been a special journey. So it's exciting to see, starting as big as we've started, where we can still take it from here. Going forward, it's a little bit of a challenge. You don't always want to start on top, right? You want to have that room for growth. So for us, it's figuring out where our room for growth is. That I told them the other day, I used a football analogy, and I don't know anything about football, but I said it's more of a game of inches than it is on yards at this point. Other groups are still trying to make great gains, and our gains are small. So it's going to be interesting to see what those gains are and how much better we could be than we even thought.
You can see the show choir perform on Tuesday, February 21st, when Westside hosts the Choral Clinic concert in the auditorium. I'm Jordan Nog for WTV.
Academics, sports, and performing arts. There are a lot of things happening at Westside.
Indeed, Maddie. And in our next edition, we will take a look at Westgate's new book vending machine,
a state swimmer,
a musical teacher,
and a golfer going to college. Thanks for tuning in this week. For WTV, I'm Maddie Schlegel.
And I'm Kaden Weber. Have a great week, Warriors.